Greg Cazillo, Cazillo.com. As you can see, I'm standing next to the Hoover Dam. I'm actually on the Arizona side of the Hoover Dam, and back way over there is a bridge that I was just standing on taking pictures from. Now, I'm on vacation in Las Vegas, and this is about an hour, I think it's east of Vegas, I'm not sure, I forget. Anyway, so I'm out on vacation. I love coming to Vegas. This is my second time here. It's a really cool place. Anyway, this is one of the places that you have to come and visit. And since that bridge is brand new up there on the hill, I had to come and photograph Hoover Dam from it. Now, here's some pictures as I'm showing through of that I've taken already. And this is actually a new angle. I didn't get this angle last year. So this is a really cool angle. I've already taken a couple pictures from here. Used my 14 to 24 millimeter lens to get everything, because everything is really, really big. The scale here is really wide and really big. So anyway, this week's video is going to be about vacation photography, both using a point and shoot camera, what to look for, what to try and do, maybe improve some of your photos, as well as taking the SLR and what lenses I brought, what cameras I brought, how I packed it, what bags I brought, all that good stuff. So we'll move on to the next segment. So let's talk equipment. Now, as you see, I have a lot of gear here piled around me, but the way I'd like to think about this is in levels. All right, when you have so if you think about it in levels, you have the first level, which is the primary gear you have to have, and that's with your lenses, your camera bodies. By the way, I'm shooting with my D3S with this video, and so I have my 14 to 24 on there, and that first level would be the 14 to 24, at least for me anyway, the 24 to 70, 70 to 200, possibly my 60 millimeter, possibly my 50 millimeter 1.4. Other things in that first level would be lens cleaners, spare batteries if I have them, battery chargers, very, very important. You never know if your battery is going to go. You might charge it ahead of time. You might end up doing a lot of shooting. Maybe if you have a newer DSLR like a D7000, you end up doing a lot of video. That video is going to chew up a lot of battery. So you got to remember to bring that charger, unless you have a bunch of batteries that you're going to bring with you that everything's going to be charged. So be sure of that. Cards, that's another big thing. Got to remember to bring your cards. So that's kind of my first level. By the way, double A's always have those. Second level, and with these levels, it's kind of a convenience or inconvenience kind of a thing. The more gear you're going to bring, the more of an inconvenience and the more stuff you're going to have to lug around. I see it as an inconvenience both for myself, as far as more stuff I have to bring, as well as the people that I'm with. So keep that in mind when you're packing and getting stuff together. If you have a lot of gear, then maybe knock it down. Just think about it and consider what you're actually taking with you. Next level, I would say the next level includes a laptop, whatever one you have. I'm actually considering getting rid of my Toshiba laptop because it's a 16-inch one, getting a little bit lighter one for travel purposes. Obviously, you got to have the cable for it, iPad and charger. Of course, you got to have it. And actually, in the future, I might even consider I have enough cards. I think I have something crazy like, I don't know, 80 gigabytes of cards or something like that. 88 gigabytes, I think it is. And so I might almost consider bringing just cards and one of those little copy things. I think Lexar makes some, a couple other companies make them, where you just copy the photos off the card onto the hard drive so I have a backup. Then I wouldn't rewrite over those cards. But I don't know. I think that's in the future. Anyway, laptop, card reader, hard drive, cables, iPad. That's kind of my next level. Third level, then we get into strobes. You know what? I think we need to add a strobe into that first level too, at least one. That's when I added a second level in level 3. So think about it in that kind of thing, kind of put all your gear on the table and say, what do I really need? What am I really going to use? Last time I was here in Vegas, I didn't even use a flash, but I still brought it with me, and I still brought the SC29 cord with me. So, it really depends. Let's talk about bags. My primary bag that I like to travel with is this one, and that's my Think Tank Shapeshifter. Now, the great thing about it is I can get everything in here, my primary gear plus a laptop, one body, 3 or 4 lenses, all that stuff in this one bag. It definitely makes it heavy, especially with a 5-pound laptop, 5-pound camera, you know, heavy lenses, all that stuff. But that's the way it is if I want to make it compact in just one bag. This time I brought a little bit more gear with me. And so I also brought my airport security. All right. I have a lot of stuff in here. Actually, everything's laid out now that I look around. Gotta have your Black Rapid R strap. Gotta have that in your any level. You gotta have your Black Rapid. All right, speaking of bags, what do I do with my bags? First thing, before I go on vacation, I know what gear I'm gonna bring, but before I pack it all in there, I go through the entire bag. Every single pocket, I empty it completely out so that I know for 100% sure there are no anything that the airlines don't like me to have in the bag. I might have put a knife in there for some reason. I might have put a pair of fingernail clippers in there for some reason, or a little tube of glue, or, you know, it could be anything that I might have put in here at some photo shoot or something. And the last thing I want to do is inconvenience the TSA person, whether they deserve it or not, because it's going to be an inconvenience to me too. And so I want to be sure that I know what's in these bags. And so that's what I do. I go through the entire thing, making sure that it's completely empty. All right. Then I start putting the gear that I know back in there, that I know I want, that I know that it's okay to take on with me. I was okay without a problem to take both of these bags actually carry on. As I mentioned, I had to change the clothes in here, and I'm glad I did, because it took us a while to get our luggage since our airline got screwed up. One other thing, business cards. You might want to bring those. Remote control, if you have one of those, it'd be good to bring. Batteries, I mentioned that. I got a pen, I got a marker in there. One other nice thing about this bag is on this side, it has a lock. And so I can actually lock up my laptop and stuff like that, and then attach it to a cabinet or something like that throughout the room. And so it's kind of, you know, here in Vegas, most likely you're going to have a safe in your room. But other places, you might not. So this can be kind of like your safe. You attach it to something that isn't going to move, maybe like one of the bars in the bathroom, you know, something you know isn't going to move, and then lock up the bag itself, and it might give you a little bit more peace of mind. What else did I want to talk about? I think there was something else I was going to talk about, and I don't remember what it was. Oh well, I'm going to have one more segment. It's going to be on shooting, what to shoot, some of my techniques that I've had. I'm not sure how I'm going to do it yet, but we'll figure it out soon. Well guys, I'm back home. I definitely wanted to do one more segment for you while I was out in Vegas. It just didn't happen. I wanted to, but timing, this, that, and the other thing, and shooting photos actually ended up getting in the way. So I figured, I'll do it here back home. And you know what? I'm actually kind of glad I did, because there's a couple things that I forgot to talk about. Number one was my tripod. That was another thing that I actually took with me. Now, I would say most of the time, that's probably like a level 2. Remember I was talking about those levels and different things that I might be taking or might not be taking? Definitely a level 2 item, maybe even 3. And so I really only took it because I needed it to shoot video. So you wanted videos, I wanted to provide video for you, so I needed the tripod. How did I pack it? Well, my tripod is a big 30-47 head on it, and a set of 32-21 legs. And that's a pretty big tripod that I'd actually have a hard time finding and have had a hard time finding a bag for it, all right, in order to be able to ship it or whatever. And so on the way out, I actually just used a duffel bag, just a real thin, regular duffel bag, no nothing special. So I took that duffel bag, stuffed it in there, shipped it, and that was it. The bag was just big enough, and I actually wrapped the handles around backwards to take up some of the extra fabric, and it seemed to be fine. Didn't seem to have any issues. Got out there without any problems, so that was good. Then on the way back, I actually switched it up. I have a pretty big suitcase. I actually just bought this set of suitcases this year. It has a big one, a medium one, and then a little shoulder bag and another duffel bag, and but it was just big enough that I could take apart my tripod, take the head off, take the legs and the head and have them separately inside of the bag, and it was just enough room to put all my stuff back in it and send it that way. And again, no problems with the suitcase or sending it. It was a little on the heavy side, but I was lucky enough to have gotten a great deal on first class tickets, so that wasn't an issue. But you definitely will want to check the weight of your bag if you have to charge more money, if they charge you more money for heavier bags versus more bags. So be cognizant of that when you're traveling. The other thing I wanted to talk about was my workflow. I just got back. I've been going through the photos and the videos that I shot, you know, putting this video together for you, and everything has been looking really good. First step was to copy everything off of my cards or off of the other computer. Next step, import it into Lightroom, which I actually already did, so I just imported that catalog from the temporary catalog to my master one at home. Next step was to sort and rank the photos and add metadata. Make sure that I have the ones that I really like and get rid of all the rest. Then the next thing was to start editing. All right, make sure to get them edited, make sure they look good, and don't forget that a lot of times you can just synchronize. Here's a nice shortcut for you. Control-Shift-S on the PC allows you to synchronize all of your settings from one file to a bunch more that you have selected. I love those keyboard shortcuts. I made myself learn that one a couple weeks ago, and it's actually saved me a lot of time rather than right-click in and all that stuff. So anyway, Control-Shift-S in Lightroom, synchronize all those changes from one file to the others that are all the developed changes. So let's talk about some photos, what was good, what was bad, and what I shot differently from last year versus this year, and we'll go from there. So how did the photos turn out? Obviously that's the goal, is to make sure that I have good photos from a vacation like that. You know, you always want something to remember it from, or something to hang up, or something to show your friends, or whatever it may be. And so I'm very happy with the photos that I took. I relaxed a little bit more this time. I was out in Vegas last year and went again this year, so I was a little more relaxed this time. Didn't take as many pictures. I think I only took about 400, 500, something like that. So it was a little more, less photos, which was fine. But the ones that I took, I'm very, very happy with. Not to say that I wasn't happy with the ones from last year, but this year's have been really good. Now, this first few that I'm going to talk about were taken out in Red Rock Canyon. And this time I was just trying for something in the foreground. And so I concentrated on that foreground, middle ground, background kind of a scenario. That's always a good way to compose, and I think it made a big difference. As you can see, I have some plants and stuff in the foreground, and I have a lot of the rocks and the ground and stuff in the foreground, so that was a really good thing. I also went at 2 different times of the day. I went in the middle of the day, and I also went first thing in the morning. The park actually, and the scenic drive actually opens at 6 a.m. out at Red Rock Canyon outside of Las Vegas. So I was able to get there really nice and early and get a completely different amount of light, quality of light, different shadows, different all that stuff. Also, going there in the summertime, it wasn't anywhere near as hot, so that was another advantage. This tree photo that you've seen go through, it's a black and white tree, really cool picture. Just this random tree that I saw, and I like it as a black and white. I'm just looking for stuff, looking for good composition, looking for my rule of thirds, or again, foreground, middle ground, background, using all those normal rules that I would for any good composition. Let's see, what else? There's photos in here of this trail that I was walking through, and some plants that I had seen, all kinds of good stuff. I got some shadow. Obviously, I got great sky in the pictures, leaving a little bit of shadow in the foreground of a tree. Why not? Why not? The black and whites I was able to capture, I think, are awesome. A couple of these are just really, really strong. So very happy with them. Let's see, where are we here? Where are we? Few more. Good. There we go. When I'm editing these, I'm really working on to get a nice sky, to get good colors, not oversaturated, but making sure that all of my color is in the kind of the proper range, and my it actually is taking the histogram and actually spreading it out, making sure that it fits the entire range, but not too heavy on the blacks, making sure I'm not blowing out any of the whites. So I have a good range right in the middle. It's going to give me good solid color. The histogram is probably going to get pretty tall because you're going to have a lot of saturation. So that's a good thing. Just some fun stuff. I just love these pictures. The verticals I thought were really, really big. Having those nice vertical photos that when you just turn the camera around on the side and you shoot that vertical angle, it looks completely different and it's a different composition. Don't forget that you can turn your camera this way instead of this way to shoot those photos. A lot of times you just get in the habit of always doing one or the other, but don't forget that you can switch it. It can make a really big difference in some photos. So what else did I do? Some of these photos I just absolutely love. This one black and white, just absolutely love this picture. This one awesome black and white one that I did. The composition is great. It actually started out and I didn't like it, and I didn't like it because it was far away and you had that I don't know what it's like, almost like a smog or like the haze that's in the early day, the middle of the day. But it didn't matter because I was able to take it to black and white, get rid of that haze, and I had tried it in Lightroom and even in Photoshop to get rid of it. It just didn't work in color, and so I then switched it over to black and white to try and save it. Ended up with an awesome picture. Love this black and white. Last one I wanted to talk about was actually these last couple pictures here, which were the cityscape of Vegas. This was something that I wanted to do last year. Unfortunately, did not get to do, but I wanted to make it a point to get it this year. So I did some research, found out a good spot to go and drive up into the mountains and get a good vantage point, and went there in the evening. I probably should have gotten there a little bit earlier. That was definitely a mistake that I made. We were having dinner or something and should have gotten there probably 30 minutes, 40 minutes earlier to be set up and ready to get a good sequence of photos. But hey, you know, it's just the way it is sometimes. It's not always perfect. But the photos that I got, I'm very, very happy with. I shot both with my 24-70 and 70-200 so that I have a little bit tighter image as well as the wider one. And again, of course, I shot a vertical. Gotta have that vertical. It's just a completely different feel. So I might crop these, get rid of the sky. I actually got a poster when I was heading out to the Hoover Dam, and that poster had it was a really wide panoramic, probably 6 feet of it. But heck, you know, I might crop it, I might not crop it to make my own panoramic. I like this, but hey, you know, we'll see. We'll see. Figure it out. Video. I actually ended up, which was really, really cool, going out to the Las Vegas Speedway, and I can't remember the lady's name, but it was such an awesome ride going around Las Vegas Speedway in a 15-passenger van doing 100 miles an hour around that track. Oh, it was so cool. So cool. I only wish I could remember the lady's name that was driving. What a fun ride. And you're up in a high in this van and you're going around these corners, and you know, I think it's a 20-degree banking or something that you're going around, and you're just looking at that wall saying, oh my goodness, I don't know if we're gonna make it. It was really cool. The tour was great. She was actually really good about taking photos, about, hey, I'm gonna stop here, you can get out and take some pictures. But I also shot some video from that, so why not, you know, shoot a little bit of video. Next time, if I would have had my tripod with me or would have been thinking ahead, I would have sat the tripod inside of the van and held it down and then shot the video, so that the video and the camera all turned at the same time that we turned as the vehicle turned. I think that would have been a lot better, but hey, you know, why not? While I'm on the subject of video, I also did some other video from the Bellagio and a couple of other things from actually inside and outside of the Bellagio, both of the the fountains outside, as well as the inside where they have the flower garden. So, you know, they had these really cool birds that are in there, and they had the little fountains on the inside. So it was good to shoot a little bit of video, especially you guys that have the D90s, D7000s. If you're lucky enough to have a D3S like me, great. Shoot a little bit of video while you're on vacation. Then take that video, put it together in a slideshow or in some kind of a presentation to show all of your friends, or send it out. Put it up on YouTube like I did with last year's photos. And why not? You know, it's an easy way to be able to show it. I take my iPhone, I take my iPad, and say, here, you know, you can take a look at it. And it's so much more enjoyable to do that sometimes than have to look through hundreds of pictures. You know, just get your top, you know, 20, 30, 40, 50 pictures if you're going to show somebody the best of the best, and show what the vacation was like instead of hundreds and hundreds of them to go through. It's a much better way to go. So in closing, how did I do? I'm very happy with the photos that I took. I don't think I'll be going to Vegas again next year, but hey, you never know. Maybe there'll be a job that'll pop up. Heck, it's really hard to say. But I try to do something different. If you are going on vacation in a certain place, do a little research. Look at the photos that other people have. One tool that I found, this is actually how I found the location to shoot the cityscape of Vegas, was actually Google Maps. And in the top right-hand corner of Google Maps, it shows you photos. You turn on the photos, and you're able to see the photos that other people have taken, and actually videos too, in that spot. And so then you can get an idea, hey, this is the spot to go. And or maybe it's a little different, or a different time of day, or whatever it may be. So anyway, it gave me a really good idea of where to stand for that. And but anyway, look at other people's photos. Do a little research before you go, especially if you're really looking to get some really great pictures. Do a little research first, see what you can find, and then go from there. Greg Casillo, Casillo.com.